Greetings everyone, and welcome on back to Minecrafting with Ultra. I am Ultra, and I'm hanging out over here at the farm we made last episode because I can't get enough of this place. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I think this is my favorite part of the entire world so far, but that could change today. The village transformation project is coming to a close. We've only got a few notable kind of empty spots going on here, and one of them is in here. The quarry is kind of what started this whole project over here at this area, and yeah, it's still unfinished. It was supposed to be part of my storage, and it's still going to be. We just need to finish it first, and I think the time for that has finally come. So with that, I set out to lay a few foundations. I used some oak logs and some cobblestone just to get a better sense of spatial awareness and give myself a better idea of what I'm going to be able to fit in here. I do know that I want a bunch of cranes and action pieces. I want like big furnaces and stuff like that, but first I want to see where everything can go. And I'm actually pretty happy with the room that we've got and the stuff that I've got going on here. Let me explain a little bit. This building here is going to be like a tall, kind of overlooking like a foreman's office type thing. This is going to be where the main dude oversees the whole operation here. We're going to have a big crane here that is going to help with the unloading from this crane that actually brings stuff up from the quarry. And we're going to have another crane over there too that's going to help also kind of move things around and maybe load it on carts. Said carts will be stored in that barn over there. I think that's going to be like a storage building, just some sort of just big open barn-ish thing. And then this building here is going to be the main kind of where the magic happens. That stone that sticks out through the wall there is going to connect to a water wheel, and we'll have like a big giant, maybe like a saw or something for processing some of the stone. And we can have like a maybe like a kiln in there, or not a kiln, what do you call it, like a forge or something like that to help with the tool upkeep and smelting some of the stone and some of the ores and things like that. So should be some pretty cool stuff, but I'm gonna get some sleep first and then we'll get some work done. Hang on a second. Wait a second. Sorry to interrupt, but this is bad. Not a fan of any of it. There we go. It's like a band-aid. Gotta rip it off. The whole thing needs to go. And there we are. This, however, may just be the biggest monstrosity that I've built in a long time. That's right. We're bringing this guy down too. And there we go. Now we can just pretend like none of that ever happened. So, time lapse, round 2, activate. Well, what do you guys think? We got the quarry done, and this one here I'm calling on a technicality. So Circulation, as mentioned before, and as the sign here clearly states, has asked very specifically for a toolsmith house. And I didn't make you a house yet, but I will. You're gonna get a house in the city. But for now, I did make you a toolsmith warehouse? Question mark? Let's go. I'll show you guys. We're gonna leave the shaders on too. Look how cool it looks from out here, man. I love it. So I did struggle a little bit with this big chimney here, and I might change it. Honestly, I still don't know if I'm very happy with it. I wanted it to look like it was red brick, but it was just covered with soot and had just been burnt so much over the years that it's just kind of gotten darker. But I don't really know. I don't really know how I feel about the red. I feel like it kind of pops out a little too much. So that might change in the future, but for now, I think it's fine. Also, what I think is fine is this thing. This thing turned out super, super sick, and this might be one of my favorite parts of the build. Let's just go on up here and I'll show you guys. So we've got the water wheel here. It spins around and it does its thing. And then the water comes out this way, and then it drains back down into the river or the creek, whatever you want to call it. And then up here, this part, this is like a little shut off. This is like a little door. So see, right now it's up and it's open, so the water can flow through here, and it spins the wheel, and that wheel spins and it powers the saw in there. We'll show you that here in a minute. But then when they're done with it, they can just kind of chink, close this little door down here, and then the water would dry up, the wheel stops spinning, and the river keeps flowing, you know, how it normally would. Pretty cool, huh? But let us go this way and we will go inside of the quarry. So we're gonna start up at the top because down below is kind of meh. First of all, right here, you're greeted with a very different sight than you were before. Instead of the big flat nothingness, we've now got a couple buildings and a pretty cool crane back there. That's probably my second favorite part of the build. But this first building here is Toolsmith Warehouse. And my idea is they've got this big kiln here that they can smelt their ores and things like that. That's why they've got like a big old pile. I imagine this is like coal, you know, that they can burn to power their little doodad here. And then if you come inside of the warehouse, we've just got some storage. I put a lot of actual functional things. I put a lot of storage, crafting benches, grinding guys, the little saw thing, stuff like that, just so I actually could use the stuff in here. But this is going to be where my cobble is over here. All my cobble and all its variants are going to be stored over here. Smooth stone is going to be over here. But as far as the lore goes, this part of the forge would be for maintaining like the tools and things like that. They could put it in there and get it all hot, and then you take it out here and you tink, tink, tink on your little thing here, and you tink, tink, and then you put it in the water and that cools it off. So I really like how this turned out too. I think this is super, super cool. Got a little cart over here with another little crane here so they can help unload it or load it or whatever they're doing. Then over here we just got more extra stuff. This is like an extra wheel I pretended for the carts up here on the wall. So this is just a little place where they can back them in and work on them or load them or unload them, whatever they got to do. Over here we've got this big old giant, like a pallet I imagined, of bricks that's just stacked up and ready for them to do whatever with. And then this building here is another one of my favorites because I love the story that it tells. Over here on this side, we've got these big, I imagine it's like a marble block. And I know this isn't a marble quarry, but that might change in the future. We'll get there. Hear me out. We're gonna have to go sleep soon. But we got this big marble block, and it's hooked up to this thing here that pulls it in. This chain pulls the block along until it gets to here, which is the saw that's powered by the water wheel from earlier. That's right out there. So the water wheel turns the thing, and then it turns this thing, and it turns all this stuff, and it makes the saw go up and down, and it cuts the block into these little bricks that they can then stack up into this pallet here. Very, very proud of how this one came out. Super, super happy with it. Then we've also got this big giant crane here that can help bring things up, not only from down below, it's got just an empty pallet on it now, but it can also help move the pallets around up here. It's got a pretty good reach on it. We've got a tiny little cart over here with another one of the bigger ones here getting loaded with deep slate, and that's exactly what I'm storing in this part of it. Hang on, I'm gonna go sleep. Which, by the way, Circulation, this is my house here, and I've actually been spending most of my time in the trailer down there. So until I get you a house built in the city, you can have my place. It's a bit of a mess. I do have some shulkers laying around and a bunch of junk laying around, but at least it's a bed. It's a place to lay your head until I get your place built up. You're gonna get a sweet place, by the way. Back to the quarry. And where were we? Yeah, here. So it's pretty obvious, but this is my granite, diorite, andesite storage. And this one here is for tough. Check out that crane though. Didn't that thing turn out pretty cool, man? I love it. I love the weird angle that it's at. It's not just straight. It stands out and looks like almost gives it like a bit of motion. It looks like it's actually doing something, you know? I think that's it for up here. I did add this little crane here just to help load and unload this thing. But now, if we go down below, this is where I get less pleased with what I've done here. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I think this quarry, even though we've checked it off the list, there's probably gonna be more things that get changed to this over the lifetime of this world, which is gonna be forever. So we've got a long time to perfect this thing. Like, one thing I wanted to do was a bit of a gradient. Start with some darker blocks down there and work up to some lighter blocks and play with some shading and some overhangs and things like that. I wanted to maybe have a section, like maybe drill into that wall there where they found a bunch of marble and use calcite to represent that, and have a bunch of big blocks look like they're cutting out there and bringing them up here along the path to that building there. Lots of things we can do and will do, but I ran out of time a long time ago for this episode, so that's where we are. I put this little crane guy here just so it can help with littler things come up from down below there, just so they don't have to carry everything up from the very bottom. That was the idea here with these cranes. I just wanted to make it seem like, you know, over time they've added little things to help them make it a bit more efficient. And I also added these like supports to look like they were kind of holding the walls back a little bit just to make sure it doesn't collapse in on itself. Whee! And then once we get to here, we've got this other kind of elevator, and this one's different. I wanted this one just to be like a big platform, big flat elevator that they can lower down there, and they can just load a bunch of junk on it. They can just pile a bunch of stuff up, and then it just kind of ching 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 reels itself back up here, and they can unload it, or they can use that one there to, you know, keep bringing it up. And while I do think it's a pretty cool view from down here, if you're looking around, especially now that we brought some wood in, the supports I feel like really add a lot. I will say that this elevator here is not, it's kind of just, I don't know. This might undergo a big change in the future, but we'll see. For now, it suits my needs. And I think I'm happy enough with it to call this an episode. I ought to be. It's been long enough, huh? I feel like I say that every episode. And I am going to take this opportunity now to warn you guys that we are coming into a very, very busy time of year. I'm sure you all know we've got Christmas coming, we've got New Year's, and also in my life I have birthdays, anniversaries, and things like that. So the next episode might take a little while for that one's out too. I just want to give you a bit of a heads up there. I think that is going to be it though for this episode. I don't really have anything else that I want to add. I did update the map, and that's looking pretty cool with the quarry over here now. But yeah, I guess that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Your support means the world to me. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you liked the episode, leave a like on the episode. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you thought. Maybe subscribe to my channel if you're new here, and I will see you guys next time.